Good morning. It's time for week 4 report out on my weight loss journey. Now, if you are brand new to the podcast, welcome. I'm Lyn Lindbergh, the founder of Couch to Active, and I'm adding a special series here reporting out on my personal weight loss journey that I am doing live right now, today, reporting out on it week by week before I know what my results will actually be. That's right, a little scary, but we're doing it. Now, if the topic of weight loss is not a healthy topic for you or a triggering topic or causing you stress, please skip this episode. We've got 500 episodes. There's lots of really great stuff that you can do and listen to help you live a healthy and happy life. If you are going to dive into this one and it's your first one, please pause and go back and look into the episodes here and find week 0. That gives you some really important context of what we're doing here and why I'm reporting out on it. And if you're someone who knows me IRL, for us old folks, because most of us are older, IRL, in real life, that could be digital real life or real life. Don't pretend that you're listening and not say anything to me. If you see me and we're hanging out, say, hey, I'm listening to this, and let me know what you think, or just say, hey, I'm listening to it. Because these podcasts are really interesting. As a podcaster, I get to see how many numbers of people that download the podcast, but I actually don't know who's actually listening to it. So I always just love knowing who's listening to it and just making that connection. All right. Last week, holy moly guacamole, last week in week 3, midweek, I had that emotional breakdown. I had that Wednesday night, Thursday morning where everything made me cry. And I had that freak out that my brain was telling me, oh my gosh, Lyn, this whole I'm crying about everything on a Wednesday night is not my definition of happy and healthy. And the only thing I could tell that had really changed was that I was in that calorie restriction for the goal of healthy weight loss. Yeah. So I always want to qualify 12 million times over what I'm doing. We're just going to go through it here. We're just going to go ahead and assume you've already listened to the previous weeks. Okay. Week 4, I really wanted to prove to myself that it was not the weight loss, that it was sleep. I really, really wanted that to be it. And so I was more motivated than I had been in a long time to not be better about getting the sleep I need, but really listen to my body and say, okay, Lyn, what do you need here for sleep? And I slept a lot. I had one night where I was in bed for 12 hours. I let myself take a couple of naps during the weekend. I had a couple of really big days, but overall, I really, really watched my sleep, and guess what? Thank goodness. It worked. It totally worked. Since that last breakdown Wednesday of just everything was making me cry. My son's going off to college. I'm going to be an empty nester. God, sometimes I hate being human. No, I don't. I want to be very fully human, which means all the emotional experiences. And this last week was good. Sleep really gave me a solid base. It helped me not feel as stressed out. It helped me be more productive when I was at my desk working. It helped me be more focused in my classes. I was naturally grabbing my heavier weights while I was teaching classes. So my lesson there, sleep, super duper important. Now, could I go with less sleep if I was not in a calorie restriction and manage my emotions through food? Probably. But I don't think I can go through a calorie restriction and sleep deprivation at the same time and have that be a happy, healthy life. So that was a very interesting thing to me. And it made my mind go through that rabbit hole of just seeing other people who are on a weight loss journey and have friends and families around them saying, oh, wow, you're losing weight. You must feel great. You must feel amazing. This must be awesome. It's like, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's a journey. It's a bumpy road. And it's a little easier for things nutritionally wise, everything balanced out, to get a little out of whack and have your body get used to it. So yes, staying the course is important. Yes, consistency is important. And yes, emotional well-being in the process and seeing your body, mind, spirit all as one piece, one thing, body, mind, spirit, all the same, three different things, all the same, all equally important, and reminding ourselves over and over again of why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? So it made me go back to my why again. Why am I doing this? I want to feel stronger. I want to be faster. I want to have more energy so my body can do more of the things I want it to do day in and day out. Do I want to lose weight in the process? Yeah, I do. Are my clothes fitting a little better right now? Yeah. Does that feel good? Yeah. Is it good for my ego? Hell yeah. Do I recognize that knowing that losing a little weight is good for my ego and knowing that that feeds into diet culture and that could be a negative thing? Yeah, I recognize that too. It's all complicated and it's okay. I don't need to get my panties all in a bunch over worrying about what everybody else thinks. I just got to do what I got to do. And that's what I want for you too, is to do what's right for you. I want to talk a little bit about why high protein is so important in this process. Right now, when I am embarking on a weight loss journey, and anybody who's embarking on a weight loss journey, you have some muscle mass on your body, underneath the layers of fat, underneath that skin, underneath that subcutaneous fat. You have muscle, because if you are carrying extra weight, it requires muscle, not fat, in order to carry that extra weight. I don't care if you are 400 pounds stuck on the couch and you can hardly get off that couch and do what you need to survive during the day and get back on the couch. Your body is still physically carrying that 400 pounds. And so when we go into a weight loss deficit, when we go into deficit for the purpose of weight loss, we want to retain as much muscle as possible. And in order to retain that muscle, we have to eat the protein, because our body, as far as we know, I like to say everything with science, as far as we know, because we used to think butter was good for us. Then we knew butter was evil. And now we think butter is good. Now we don't really care about butter. So as far as we know, our body does not on its own produce the proteins we need in order to build protein in our muscle mass protein. And that's your organs, your heart, your diaphragm that helps you breathe. I mean, that is everything. We need to eat protein, and we want to lose weight in a way that makes us lose the fat, but keep as much of the muscle as possible. That's why we go high protein, never extreme, but high protein. And so here's the really cool, exciting kind of piece. If you are overweight, if you are carrying a lot of extra weight, well, just talk about me. Let's not make this a podcast. Let's make this about me. At my, my weight, I was around 30 years old for years and years and years and years. I hovered right around 130 pounds for years and years and years and years. This was before I really started lifting any weights, but I was fit. I was doing half marathons. I was doing 200-mile bike rides, 130 pounds, 130 pounds, 130 pounds. Then I really got into distance running and doing more distance stuff. And at my lowest, which was too low, I was only there for a few months. At my lowest, I was down to 118. That was my lowest. But let's say 130. let's say 130 is our benchmark. So I do not have a goal to get back to 130. I have a goal to be lean and fast. And because I'm lifting more weights, that number on the scale is probably going to be higher than the 130 that I sat at forever. Okay, I digress. 130 pounds. When I weighed 130 pounds, here's our math. Imagine me going to the gym, or for me, actually it was home. Imagine me in my living room. I've got my little hand weights here. I'm about to do squats. I weigh 130 pounds. I go over to my weights to choose from. I, at 130 pounds, would pick up two 25-pounders and do multiple rounds of squats with two 25-pounders. So I'm squatting with 50 pounds, multiple rounds. So what 130 plus 50 is 180. I would like 3 times a week, I'd be like 50 pounds squatting. Woohoo, look at me. I'm such a badass. Okay. At my highest weight, I was 182. That's right. So I went from 130 squatting 50 pounds to 182. What that means is my body doesn't actually know or care if I'm squatting with muscle, with my own body weight, or if I picked up weights. To my legs, when I do that squat, it's the same darn thing. However, when you actually weigh 180, which is what I did, or if you weigh 250 or 450 or 575, your body all day, everything you do is squatting and using that extra amount of weight. So by definition, even though you may feel more lethargic, even though you may feel like moving around and getting around is harder because of the weight, well, partly is like, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, because you've got a 50 or 100-pound backpack on. And so the muscles are by definition working hard, which means underneath that layer of fat, you are strong. You are so strong. And there's so much amazing, freaking awesome potential there. That's super exciting. And so that's why when you lose the weight, if you do the nutrition correctly so that you lose less muscle mass, you can lose the fat more easily, retain as much muscle as you can. And that's when people start feeling awesome, because they have these muscles that support more than what you weigh. And that is pretty exciting. So that's what I'm going for. And that's kind of what went through my mind too, about the whole just muscle mass and doing this. So another way to imagine it is like right now, get a backpack. Okay, don't actually do this. Just imagine. Just imagine with me, would you? Get a backpack, fill it with 50 pounds of sand, walk around all day, every day for weeks, take off that 50 pounds of backpack. You are going to just feel like a freaking rock star. So yeah, that's really what I'm going for. I cannot for the life of me, when I plan my meals, I cannot remember what I planned. So I'm looking at adding that whole layer of how do I make this sustainable? How do I make this weight loss sustainable when I get to where I actually want to be? How do I do this so I'm not tracking anymore? I just intuitively know what to do. I cannot remember. I go in the morning. I've been going in the morning in my app and saying, okay, for breakfast, I'm going to do my smoothie with protein powder in it. And then I plan my lunch, and then I plan my dinner. And then I look at all the macros, the protein. I'm looking at protein, fiber, and fat I have certain goals there. And I look at all that and I say, oh, my fat is a little bit low today. So I'm going to go back to my smoothie and I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil to that smoothie to level out the level of oils. Like this is the level of geek I am going here. Partly because I figured out what macros work good for me that make me feel the best. and also contribute to the weight loss and support the muscle growth and getting the vitamins and nutrients that I need. And I know fat is a big piece of it. And when you eat super healthy or when you eat super calorie restricted, it's really easy to accidentally end up with not enough fat, which is your brain needs fat, your skin needs fat, we all need fat. So I go in. So then I plan it all out. Then I go in the kitchen, I make my smoothie, and I forget to put in the olive oil that I planned. So now I got a tablespoon of olive oil I got to throw in somewhere else, or I got to replan. So planning and tracking, that's one thing I am just totally forgetting about is like, what exactly was I going to do 3 ounces of this halibut or 5 ounces of this halibut for lunch or dinner or what, yeah. So if that's you and you're like, wow, this whole planning and tracking thing is hard. Yeah, I agree. The cool thing about doing some real focused for me planning and tracking has been that now that I am 4 weeks through and I'm into my 5th week, I have these sense in my mind of what a day really should look like. And so the more I do this, the more I practice this, the more I know in general, this is what a day should look like. So I'm not worried too much about it being perfect or not. And I'm dialing in things like, holy moly, cheese and crackers is a way to get the calories sky high, or holy moly, processed junk food really does disrails. It disrails. We're going with disrail. It disrails the whole thing. Okay. Let's take a look at how I had fast food 3 times this week. And then we'll take a look at what that did to my whole diet. So Wednesday night, you guys know I've got another month left and then I'm an empty nester here. I've got this amazing 19-year-old son. Wednesday night, I had made my most amazing, beautiful salad. I think it was like spinach with 4 ounces of chicken, an ounce of goat cheese. What was I doing for fruit at that day? I think it was probably grapes with a little balsamic vinegar drizzled on it. Oh, and a little bit of avocado. Yeah. Amazing. I love it. It's one of my go-to meals. I had made this gorgeous, beautiful salad. My son comes into the kitchen. I'm literally just about to put a fork in the salad. My son walks into the kitchen of our apartment and he's like, "Hey, Mom, you want to go to Wendy's?" Now, if you're a mom of teenagers, you totally get this. If your teenager wants to do something with you, the only correct answer is yes. Absolutely. So I took that beautiful salad. I didn't even cover it up or anything. I just left it on the kitchen counter, grabbed our keys. We get in the car. We're driving to Wendy's. So now my brain is thinking, okay. What am I going to do? What do I want to do? What is sustainable? What is long-term? How is this going to work? And I thought, I'll drive him to Wendy's. I'll get myself a Diet Coke. And then when we come back, I know, hate on me for Diet Coke. I don't care. Then when we get back, I'll just eat my salad. There we go. Okay. Well, it gets even better. We walk down the stairs over to our car in the carport. We get in the car. It's a beautiful day out. And my son looks at me and he goes, "And then when we get the Wendy's, you want to go hang out in the sun at the pool and we could eat at the pool together?" Absolutely yes. I'm going to do this. I am absolutely going to do this. So then we're driving to Wendy's and I'm thinking, oh, okay, what do I do? Do I run back up to the apartment when we get back to get my salad? Could that be like, what do I want to do? I finally decided I wanted the Wendy's too. And I was not going to order a Wendy's salad because let me tell you, blah. Sorry if you like Wendy's, blah. They're salads. I don't know. The ones around here. So we do the drive-through to Wendy's. We get stuck in our Wendy's drive-through is so slow. Oh my gosh. It was like 15 minutes. And I know our Wendy's, they're usually really fast. But the one here sometimes is really slow. So we pull out the phone and we're going through little videos and memes and sharing jokes, which is awesome. It's a beautiful day. The windows are down, which in Seattle is just so lovely. And I decide that I'm going to get the Baconator burger. Yep, that's right. That's what I wanted. I'm like, I got to figure out how to make sure I can have this kind of a thing now and then and not just be a health freak 1000% of the time, because it's got to be sustainable. So I go through, I order the Baconator. I wanted the fries. I skipped the fries. So I got the Baconator. They're like, would you like that Baconator to be 1 patty, 2 patties, or 3 patties? I'm always like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? 1 patty, thank you. So we get it. We go to the pool. We have a lovely time. Totally great. Then I'm thinking to myself, this one burger probably just totally screwed up my entire macros for the day. Go back home, look at it, plan it, and realize that because of how I had done protein for breakfast, and because I had done a high protein lunch, and because I had mostly balanced those fat and fibers in those first 2 meals, when I got to that 3rd meal, my protein, fat, and fiber macros did get thrown a little bit, but it didn't throw the train off the cliff edge, which was pretty darn awesome. I also, when I plan my day, I also have an evening snack planned. And then I don't always eat that evening snack, but it's there for me if I want it. So I just skipped the evening snack. Here's the crazy thing. I was totally fine. I ate that one burger. I felt totally fine. And it was great. It was really great. So that's where the tracking became really important to me, because I was able to put that burger into my tracker and say, oh, wow, okay, it didn't disrail it that bad. Even if it did, I made the choice and I needed to own it. But it was still cool to see that. Skipping the fries was less of a big deal than I thought it would be, because I went right for the burger. And by the time I got through that 670 calorie burger, my body was like, yeah, you're good. So that felt really great. And we had a great time together at the pool. Yeah, I'm going to miss that young man. Can you tell? So that was Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, I have been surprised at how easy it's been to eat less. I haven't been snacky. I haven't been hungry. I haven't been hangry. I had to get my car repaired, and I actually spent 5 hours hanging out waiting to get my car repaired on Friday because, well, one car living in a new city. They had popcorn going the whole time. It didn't even sound good. I was totally fine. So this was pretty exciting. Now, stress management is always going to be key for me, because I am realizing I am a stress eater and I have to get better at go gadgeting my stress management tools that are not food-based. During the week, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I did have one very stressful interaction with someone not related to Couch to Active. I know a lot of my Couch to Active students are listening to me, and you might be like, oh no, was it me? Was it that email I sent? Like, no. Don't worry. This is not about you. In fact, I guarantee you the person this is about doesn't even listen to my podcast. So, but I had a very stressful, what the hell conversation with someone in my life. Not my family. Yeah. Don't guess, you guys. Please. I wish I could tell you this story, because, oh my gosh, you would just roll your eyes and you'd be like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? One of those. Yeah. So just imagine, just pick a story in your life where you're dealing with someone and your blood pressure goes through the roof, and you just, like, you're not a wall puncher, but if you would, you would. If you were, you would. One of those situations I had last week. I could feel my fibromyalgia flaring. I could feel my heart racing. And when I was partway through just processing what the heck had just happened in this interaction, I found myself like desperately wanting to find something in the fridge to just binge. Yeah, just to get something carby, right? Carbs, fat, sugar, something. And I caught myself. I actually was able to catch myself. And now there's a couple reasons I was able to catch myself. One, I am fairly in control of my time and how I spend my time right now. So that makes it easy. That's a support structure that makes it easier. I don't have like 3 little kids running around my ankles, mommy, 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 you know. Yeah. And I have a safe home environment. The weather is beautiful. So I have a lot of things supporting me. So I do recognize and appreciate that. And I also know that I've done a lot to build that in my life too. Right. So, some of it is where your life is at in the moment, and some of it is what you make your life. So anyhow, I was just completely stressed out. I could feel like all of a sudden I could feel my bones ache, my joints ache, because this is that fibromyalgia flare that comes with stress when I get like super emotionally triggered by something. So I decided I was able to keep my logic brain on, that stoic, pragmatic brain of mine. I was able to keep it on, was pretty proud of myself, and say, okay, you're stressed out. You're really angry right now. Actually, just plain old pissed off. Go for a walk. Let the body work this out. Go for a walk, move your body, get going. So I went for a walk, got my body moving. That helped. I called a friend. Talked to my friend about what was going on. I was like, can you believe this? And my friend was like, oh my gosh. And then that helped. And I was able to actually kind of start laughing about it a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, this is just like stupid. This is so stupid. So stupid. And then I actually texted another friend and was like, oh my gosh. So I brought in my support structure. I got my body moving. And then I had a little bit of time in my day where I was able to actually lay down and take a nap. And so I did that too. When I woke up from the nap, about an hour and a half later, my stress and the cortisol and that adrenaline was subsided. I was out of my monkey brain. I was thinking more clearly. And then I was able to go about on my day. And when that issue came up again, I was able to actually go back to that person and say, yo, dude, like really? And that person actually apologized. It was pretty great, actually. So, and yes, not about you or even you. But it was really good. And so for me to be able to move my body and get it going, and really just shift my mood in a way that was healthy and not centered around food. So that was pretty good. It's a little humbling. It just seems like every week I want to come to you so badly. I want to come to you some week and say, I figured it out. It was perfect. I was happy. I was healthy. I ate perfect. I had no fast food, no crap food. Like, look at me. I'm amazing. But gosh darn it, yes, I'm human. Okay. Wow. I've just got a lot to say. Okay. Saturday, Sunday. Let me go through this really quickly. So Saturday, I had fast food for lunch. I had fast food for dinner. So let me go through this and then I'll go through the results of how many calories, protein, fat, fiber, and my weight at the start of the week and my weight at the end of the week. But this one, I think this is pretty important. Saturday, I had a big long day. I was client facing from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. straight with only the maybe 5-minute break between each hour. Then I went and hopped right into my car at 11 a.m., drove 2 hours to hang out with some friends. Hung out with my friends, boom, 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 for like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And then I got in my car and I drove 2 hours home. So it was a 12-hour day. Yeah, it seems like I always have a 12-hour day at least once a week. and I had my son with me. On the way there, we stopped by Wendy's again. Oh my gosh, Wendy's twice in it. This time I was like, I am not getting that Baconator burger. I already had one 3 days ago. I'm not going to get another Baconator burger. So thank goodness most fast food restaurants list the calories of different foods on their menu. So I had already decided I'm not going to go for the French fries. I need something with protein in it. So I went through and gosh darn it, would you know, they had a 420 calorie Santa Fe chicken wrap. And I was like, seriously, Lynn, are you going to order a Santa Fe chicken wrap? You're going to order a chicken wrap at a burger joint? Are you going to really do this? And I thought, you know what? What the heck? I'm going to try it because it was less calories than all the others. It had chicken in it. So I thought, I'm going to try it. It was good. It was actually really good. And it had 27 grams of protein. It had other crap in it too, but it was actually great. And I ate it and I actually liked it better than the French fries. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I was feeling kind of badass. Like, all right, look at me go. I actually like this. And it's a healthier choice. I didn't say healthy choice. I said healthier choice, healthier than the French fries. Then on the way home, long story short, son just wanted to get home. And we were in our old neighborhood where we used to live when he was a little boy. And he was hungry. And there was the burger joint that we used to go to when he was a little boy. Yeah, emotional memories tied to food. I know. So we pulled in there and I actually ordered a veggie burger at that point. I ordered a veggie, the veggie burger brand. Got home, put all of that. I skipped the milkshake. I skipped the fries. Did get a Diet Coke. Yeah, you're seeing patterns here, aren't you? Put it all in and then thought, okay. At the end of the day, my macros were a little bit screwed up, but I still got 80 grams of protein in for that day. So my data geeky friends, you know, we need a bare minimum of 50 to 60 grams of protein in a day. My goal daily is 100 to 120 grams of protein. I still got 80 grams of protein, even with eating the fast food twice in a day. So I was like, okay. And remember, protein for breakfast. That's why it becomes so important. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at all the data for the week. So Lynn had fast food for 3 meals. She had a pretty stressful day, but a lot of other stuff's going on. Here we go. My average calories for the day for the week were 1,300. That is low. You want to make sure if you ever go that low, really got to track what you do, what you eat. Average protein per day, 102 grams a day. I think that's great. Average fat, 53. My goal is 50. So that's fantastic. Average fiber, 16. My goal is 19 to 20. Not shabby. At the start of the week, I weighed 174.1. I know we're splitting hairs here. 174.1 at the start of the week. The week ended at 171.4 for a net loss for the week of 2.7 pounds. 2.7 pounds. Woohoo! And a total loss of 10.6. So I made the 10 mile mark, the 10 pound mark. It feels like the 100 mile mark. I made the 10 pound mark. Woohoo! So that was exciting. What contributed to that 2.7 loss? Remember the week before? I had some high sodium days before I weighed in. This is why we have to look at long-term trends. So the week before, I only had a net loss of 0.7 pounds from my Sunday to Sunday weigh-in. This week, I think some of that 2.7 was actually some losses from the previous week that didn't register on the scale because of those high sodium days. Yeah. Overall, what do I think of this? Overall, I'm pretty darn proud. I'm pretty darn proud of the fact that I'm really watching the nutrition. I'm pretty darn proud that I'm really, really watching sleep and stress and making sure that I recognize those as big, big pieces. As far as energy, speed, strength, and measuring myself with a tape measure, I know nothing's changed hugely in either direction, and I still haven't taken the time to measure. So that begs me to question, because I haven't measured how fast I am in 4 weeks, because I haven't actually measured, like sat down and said, how many bicep curls can I do with how much weight? How many squats can I do with how much weight? Because I haven't taken, what does my waist measure? What do my hips measure? Because I haven't actually taken the time to do that, it makes me wonder, is the scale actually my goal? And am I just preaching strength and speed as my goal? I have to ask myself the question, and it's a cringe-worthy question because intellectually, I know strength and speed is really what I'm going for. But if that really was the real important piece of me, I would take the time to measure it more. So I'm like, this is interesting. There's also that piece, though. I can actually see my legs look leaner than they did. I do have more energy. I'm definitely not losing energy. My attitude has this week been great. I mean, I had that big slump last week, but this week it's been great. And when I have hard things coming my way, this last week I've been managing them. I feel really well. So you know what? And I have my speed, my energy. I've had a couple of long 12-hour days and I managed those just fine. So I think I subconsciously know that's all coming along, but I haven't actually measured it and I'm not quite sure why, because it's not like I don't have the time. I got the time. So there we have it. What's coming up next week? Again, another week with nothing too remarkable going on, thank goodness, which is partly why I'm choosing this time to do this. Starting the week 5 at 171.4. We'll see what happens at the end of week 5. Alrighty, if you would like me to help you with your own similar journey, reach out to me at couchedactive.com. Just head over to the website. Contact info's right there on the homepage. Most of my clients are blind and visually impaired, so I've got phone number, email address to make it super easy to get you up and running and going. That's couch2active.com. See you there.